about the mean absolute deviation, or what we call MAD for short. Yes, MAD, M-A-D. And what is the MAD, or the mean absolute deviation? Well, it really means, it's asking you, like, to describe it, it means that you have to understand what it is. And it's basically saying how each of these data pieces here, what is the average distance between each of these data values and the mean. So whatever the mean is, how far away is each of these pieces of data? So in order to do this, we first have to start by finding the mean. Notice how the mean is in the actual words that describe the MAD. If you see it, it says mean absolute deviation. The word mean is there. So we're going to find the mean or the average. What do? We write down each number here and I cross it out. Notice once I cross it out, I write it on there. I already have it written just because I wanted to save time. But 77, I write that. 65, I write that. I always cross it out because I don't want to miss any numbers. The problem is if we miss a number, you guys, we will not get this at all correct. So if we don't start with the correct answer for the average, it'll be wrong. So once I wrote them all down, I'm now going to divide by how many numbers there are. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So there are 10 total numbers. I divide it by 10. Now I'm going to solve it. So first is first, I have to divide, and I have to add, I have to divide. So adding all of these numbers, you get to use a calculator. Round of applause for the calculator. I know, it's important. There's just too many numbers. So go ahead and we would punch in all of these top numbers. We would add them all up together, and we end up with 786. Use my fraction bar right here. I'm going to put that 10 right underneath. Now my last step to actually finding the mean is to divide 786 divided by 10. If you punch it into the calculator, 786 divided by 10 is going to give you 78.6. That, my friends, is the mean. We did this a couple of lessons ago. You should already know how to find this. Okay, now what you're going to do for the next step is you're going to take 78.6 and you're going to subtract each of these numbers by that. Yeah, in order for me to do that, I'm just going to erase this so you can see the numbers. And I'm going to write them down horizontally, just like I did in this original thing. But I'm going to first start subtracting. What do? I take my calculator and I take these two numbers. I'm going to subtract each of these numbers by the mean. If you put the first number as the largest one in the calculator, you will not get a negative answer. But if you enter the smallest number first, you will get a negative answer. And it doesn't matter. Just don't write the negative answer. Just make it positive. Because you're talking about distance. You're asking how far is each of these numbers from the mean. That's distance. And distance is never negative, which is why it's the absolute value, which is always positive because distance is positive. So let's go ahead and we're going to do 88 minus the first number is, we're going to try doing it here is, whoops, we don't want a highlighter. We're going to do 88. Of course, I am not doing this by hand. I am punching this into the calculator. I'm just showing you the first one, what we would do. Okay. The calculator is going to be the brains of this. I'm not trying to do this on my own, as the song goes. On my own. I'm not going to try singing it. Anyways, when you subtract here, you get 9.4. Now, I'm just showing you. You're going to subtract the mean with each data value. There's my first one, so I'm going to write 9.4. Of course, calculator. I'm not going to do each one of these because I'm just showing you that we're subtracting. We're going to punch it into our calculator. 78.6 minus 77. That gives me 1.6. Again, we would use the calculator for all of this. I'm going to continue this. Obviously, with my text box because it's just easier to write, kids. That's why. So let's go ahead and put my first thing here, which is 9.4. I'm adding all of these because I'm gonna find the mean of these numbers. Then 1.6. Then when I do the next one, I'm gonna do 65 minus the mean 78.6, and I get 13.6. Then the next 78.6 minus 70, I get 8.6. And if you don't mind, just for time's sake, I'm not going to say these all out loud. I'm just going to really go ahead and just put these in because you know that I'm subtracting each data value by the mean. Then it's 16.4. Whoops. Then it's 1.4. Then it's 27.4. And then it's 10.6. And I should have 10 pieces of data. And then what we're going to do, again, we are going to match these up, right? What I'm trying to do is, no, I'm going to erase this because I already wrote it over there. Wonderful. Oops, here we go. Here, I'm going to move this back this way. So I did 78.6, I subtracted, I got 9.4, and I did all of these. I should have 10 pieces of data. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I do. Now my job is to divide. So I'm going to put my division sign down here. Hold on. Boom. Here's my division, my fraction bar. And then next, I'm going to divide it by, you guessed it, there's still 10 pieces of data. So I'm going to put 10. Okay. And now when I do this, it's going to be the MAD. So what you want to do is you're going to carefully, kids, find the average of these numbers. So you add them all up, punch it into the calculator, and then you divide it by 10. And when you do that, the top number you get is 109.2. When I add up all these numbers, I get 109.2. Don't forget there's decimals. You have to punch those in. Put your fraction bar, and now I put the 10. I'm about to get the answer. My MAD will be punch it into the calculator. My MAD is 10.92. Now they're going to probably ask you to describe what the mean absolute deviation represents. What does this number represent? So we're going to have to type in maybe a sentence that explains what it actually means. That's going to be important. Whoops, I lost this end of this thing here. It's going to be important because they're going to say, do you know what this even means? Some of you guys might right now go, I don't really even know what it means. So we're going to make sense of this. 10.92. It means that the MAD is 10.92 miles per hour, and the average distance of each data, so the average of each data value is from the mean is 10.92 miles per hour. Okay, the average distance of each data value is from the mean is 10.92 miles per hour. So basically I'm saying that each piece of data here is about 10.92 miles per hour. The distance is from the mean. So it's about 10.92. It's not a huge spread. And that's pretty much what I'm saying. Voila, and we would be done.